Welcome to Soul of Travel. I'm so happy today to be sitting down with Galit Flasterstein, and she is joining us from Costa Rica. And we are going to be talking about entrepreneurs and artisan goods and travel and so many amazing things today. So I'm excited to begin this conversation. Galit, I'm just going to give you a minute to go ahead and introduce yourself and just tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll go on from there.
Sure. Thank you so much, Christine, for having me today. I'm very excited. As I told you, I'm a bit nervous, but my name is Galit. I was born in Israel, but been living in Costa Rica for most of my life from Latin American parents. And I am in love with travel. I am in love with the experiences that travel brings us, especially with the people you meet while traveling. And that's why I was a travel agent for 10 years. And now I sell products made by entrepreneurs in Costa Rica to travelers and people from all over the world.
Yeah, thank you for that introduction. I love that you have the travel background and that led you to working with artisans. We talked prior to this conversation, and many of my listeners will know that connecting with artisans is one of my favorite things to do in a destination, because I feel like it really allows you to understand the culture and nature and traditions in this really beautiful and authentic way. It's just like this really quick, deep connection. And I think part of that is because artisans use, they've used materials that are traditional to the region. They use them in very traditional ways, that practices that have been handed down from generation to generation. And so I am just really excited to kind of learn more about that process, specifically with the women that you are, primarily women, but women and men that you work with. But I would love to, just before we get into that, talk a little bit about your travel background. I know that you worked a lot around sustainability in travel, and I know that's of interest to the people that are listening to Soul of Travel. So I just love to maybe hear a little bit about how that got started for you, and what were some of your favorite things, and then we'll transition into talking about how that led to local keeps.
Sure. Well, like I said, I've always loved traveling. And the reason why I decided to become a travel agent was because I wanted to travel within my country, within Costa Rica. And I did use the services of travel agents, local travel agents, because I think they're should be the best to tell you where to go. But they kept referring me to the same places. Now, we are so lucky here in Costa Rica to have such a diversity of places to visit that I said to myself, there has to be more places to visit, more interesting hotels, more activities to do. And I decided to research on my own. And that's how I founded my own inbound travel agency that was more for a niche market. It was for a luxury market that wanted to travel in luxury, but to sustainable hotels and do sustainable tours and see the nature and see the people. So that's how I like to travel the most, and that's what I was offering to our clients. And for 10 years, that's what we did. And I got to discover all these amazing places within Costa Rica and form these alliances with companies, be it hotels or tour travelers or drivers or tour guides that were focusing on offering an experience and offering a sustainable experience, not just your regular experience. So that was very important to me. The alliances I made throughout my 10 years as a travel agent that I was able to showcase to my clients, right? And this is something that one client told me, and I was so happy when he said, "You're very good at curating your suppliers." And that's exactly what I was doing. I was curating my agency's suppliers so I can give the best experience people could have in Costa Rica.
Mm-hmm. I love that Costa Rica really has a lot of that to offer as well, that you can easily find both sustainability and luxury. And I know a lot of people think that that is two things that are in opposition to one another, that a lot of times they think sustainability is like off grid and rustic and inaccessible to, you know, certain types of travelers. But I really love that. It seems like one of the first places that I knew about that really integrated all of that into one place, and then still being able to have a wide variety of activities that you can do as well. So I imagine
Well,
it was really fun to be able to do.
there's a reason. One of the main reasons that that happens here is that the National Institute for Tourism awards companies, be it hotels, tour operators, with leaves, up to 5 leaves of sustainability of and they certify these businesses as sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
And that's hard to get. It's hard to get for these businesses, but it's a matter of pride, you know, like of of boasting these leaves to their clients, to their employees. And so tourism here takes pride in its sustainability.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for sharing that, because that's something that people listening that are traveling, they can look for that and know that that's a resource where they're getting a vetted company that they're working with that has really worked hard to achieve those standards. So I think that's really important, because a lot of times we run into places that maybe are showcasing themselves as sustainable, but it's really more of a branding strategy. And I think places are moving away from that, but I think people still feel that resistance. Like they're not sure what kind of qualifications and certifications that they can trust actually stand for something. So it's really good to know that that is kind of standardized universally across Costa Rica, and that people can look to that as a good resource. So then as you were traveling and kind of creating these relationships and curating these experiences, were you connecting with artisans, or where did that connection come for you to transition from travel to focusing more on this entrepreneurial journey?
Sure. Yes, while I was traveling, I was meeting artisans, but also in the past about 6 years, all these farmers markets and artisans markets started to emerge here in Costa Rica, which is something that was not, I mean, it's quite recent, really. And we were heavily influenced by the US even in our consumption patterns, and only until the recent years have artisans and local entrepreneurs been creating their own products with local materials and selling them actively through first these little markets, and now more so through grocery stores, large chains, etc. And I, again, because I like meeting people and getting to know the culture, it's part of the, you know, the traveling experience. I sort of like traveled to these small markets and started to see that there were so many amazing products, like really quality products that were being made sustainably here in Costa Rica, that at the beginning, what I wanted was to sell the clients of my travel agency these products. I wanted to get them to know the country through the experience of travel, but also through the products it could offer, be it food, crafts, beauty. And again, I started doing all the research, going to all these markets, and there were so many products that's when I said, along with my husband, we said, hey, you know, this is a completely separate company that we could create. And the thing is, Christine, that most companies in Latin America are small companies. About 97% of companies in Latin America are small companies, and they cannot grow because they lack resources, but they also because they can't reach outside of their own markets. And so you could see some of the products being sold at souvenir stores here in Costa Rica, and the same happens in other Latin American countries. But then sometimes what happens is that souvenir stores wanted to save money and costs, and they would replicate some of these products that they started to buy locally and mass produce them elsewhere. So these entrepreneurs, the small artisans, small businesses were not able to really grow, even through these souvenir stores, through tourists, because they were being displaced by these mass-produced, replicated products elsewhere. And we said, okay, let's give this company a purpose. We're going to try and solve a problem, the problem of these small companies, these small entrepreneurs, to grow and enable them to grow by exporting their products. And yes, so that's how I switched. I decided to sell my travel agency. I had been in the travel entrepreneurship realm for 10 years. And I found another purpose, another why that I could, sort of do the same thing, but in a different way.
Yeah, I love that, because it's really the other reason I love the handmade goods is it's still telling the story of a destination, and so it's something that travelers can take home that really reminds them of this journey. So it's this long lasting, reminder beyond the memories. It really keeps you tied and connected to a place, and especially if you have the opportunity of learning about the artisans and the way products are made, like it just becomes something that I feel like is really treasured. Like I have pieces that I was able to meet the artisan when they were weaving it, or they told me about it because they happened to be at the market that day. And it feels like, it was handmade for me, and that I have this treasure, and I really understand like the hours of labor that went into it, or like they told me something about maybe their grandmother. And so then it's like this really unifying and kind of sacred treasure that I have. It's not just this off the shelf thing that I grabbed because I was like, oh yeah, I better have a souvenir. It's really this rich preservation of story and craft. And so I love that you are enabling that to be an experience that both the artisans and travelers can have. And like you said, there's often this disconnect. And I remember being in a rural village in Uganda and these women bringing out hundreds of baskets that they had made. And I mean, I don't even know how long it took us to get there, but definitely there was not a lot of people like me passing through. And I was thinking, gosh, where are these women selling these baskets? And later understanding what it meant for them to get products to market, and meaning leaving their homes and their families for a large amount of time to take them to market. And so it's kind of an arduous task to be an entrepreneur in a lot of these destinations. And so
Totally.
bridging that gap, giving them a marketplace, offering a way to more easily expand their business, I can see how that is really rewarding for you and really beneficial for the community.
Oh, definitely. That was it, and the reward goes three ways. It's rewarding for me as an entrepreneur, for our company, Local Keeps, obviously for the maker, that's how we call our suppliers, because they're able to showcase their products in Japan, Australia, the United States, obviously, places they never thought they would go to, they would get their products to, and obviously the client as well, because they're getting something special that they cannot get at home.
Yeah. And I think that I got so excited to start our conversation. You just mentioned that your business is called Local Keeps. I don't know if I even said that, but it is an online store that sells sustainable and curated food and beauty products made by local small entrepreneurs. So I just want to make sure that I said that really clearly in case people want to follow up after this conversation, they know what they're looking for. Another reason that I really love products like this and or projects like this, and why I wanted to speak to you, is that this really empowers women in these countries as well. And so I would love to talk to you a little bit about entrepreneurship for women, and what that looks like in your business, and what that looks like, kind of how that ripples out as well.
Yeah, sure. I love that subject. Well, entrepreneurship in Latin America by women is actually growing faster than by men. And there's a few reasons for that. In countries like Costa Rica, where education is goes up higher, people are more, women are more empowered and more and ready to have their own businesses. But also women entrepreneurs are seeing that they can create something that will feed their families, but also, and this is something that I saw every time I interviewed one of our local keeps makers, and I mean, it's part of our vetting process for curating, for including more makers, more suppliers. We interview the suppliers, we have them fill out a form, and we test their products. And one of the questions we ask is, what are they about? And, what do they do for the environment, to lower their environmental impact? What do they do for their society, for their communities? And every single time, women entrepreneurs that we interviewed answered the same thing. Sustainability was one of their missions, but also giving jobs to other women. Mm-hmm. And this is something you see all throughout Latin America by Latin American entrepreneurs. They want to give jobs to other women, especially heads of households. And then, so we have these brand that we sell, it's a beauty brand called Aroma Flor. And the head of the plant, the production plant, when she started working at Aroma Flor, she had reached only up until 3rd grade. And now, years later, not only did was she able to finish studying, but she's heading the production plant. So that's just amazing to see how these women entrepreneurs are growing, again, much faster than men. I mean, in numbers, not in terms of their company. It's a different subject, but also they have very clear missions on how to impact other women.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I've also been lucky to connect with artisans in Mexico and Guatemala and Peru and in Africa. And every single time I am always really moved by that entrepreneurial spirit and that spirit of collaboration. And you can always see it's I mean, I don't think I've ever heard someone saying, I'm doing this for myself because it's always, I'm doing this because our community needs this, or I'm doing this in order to support so-and-so so that they can support this. Like it's never this one-tiered mission. It's never like this personally driven, entitled sort of scenario. Like it's always about, like you said, this betterment of everyone, and women wanting to elevate other women. And then like it's also seems so infectious because one woman, mm-hmm. like you'll visit and one woman is kind of stepping into this leadership role, and the other women might be a little intimidated or unsure, and then the next time you visit, like 4 or 5 of the women are very like empowered, and they're so excited and being like, look, this is what you could do, like we've all done this and now you can do this too. And it's really something to witness, and I can only imagine what it's like to be a part of.
It's very exciting. It's very exciting, definitely.
When you we're talking about the products. So I think a lot of time when people think about artisan made products or locally made products, they really just think about handcrafted goods. But you've mentioned a couple of times skincare and kind of that type of product. Can you just share a little bit about what that actually looks like and how those products are sourced and maybe why they're different than other products that you might find?
Of course, in terms of beauty, for instance, another brand that stands out again, led by a female entrepreneur, is Aromas, which is our body beauty brand. And they make products like the coffee vanilla body scrub. Mm-hmm. And this is literally organic coffee that was grinded and mixed with essential oils and their therapeutic level essential oils and vanilla extract. So like when you scrub, when you use the scrub, you just, you smell the coffee and it's amazing. It's an experience again. Mm-hmm. And this female entrepreneur at Aromas, she studied, she wanted to be a holistic nutritionist, and she was drawn to all these natural products and decided to give each one of her products a therapeutic level treatment. We have, for instance, the jams. The jams by JM, jams and marmalades, are made with, again, local products that are tropical fruits. We have the pineapple, ginger, and passion fruit jam that has the passion fruit seeds in it. Mm-hmm. And so it gets a bit crunchy when you eat it. She buys from small plantations, and she uses organic sugar. Again, locally, everything is locally sourced. And they serve as a chain. All these brands serve as a chain of production, of empowerment, of growth to other small entrepreneurs. So these are the products that we are offering at Local Keeps. It's products that are made with local ingredients, high quality ingredients, and sustainable ingredients.
Yeah. And for our listeners, it's, I think, really important to note that, like you said, this woman buying products from a local producer, that connection can really shift the dynamic for their family. Like, it just takes such a little amount of sustainable income coming in based on, another business to shift the dynamic for another family or another community. And so I also love seeing, it seems so simple sometimes and so small, but the ripple effect of how these things layer on top of each other is really, really incredible. And I think just important for people to understand that when you buy, this product, if you buy this coffee scrub, it's not just impacting this one person that made it, that it really goes to all of the people that provide the components. And so I think that it's just really cool. It just provides this interconnected engagement of the community to create these products. The other thing I was thinking about when I was traveling in Costa Rica, and my daughters, they were pretty little when we were there, but when you would see the local plantations where they would have the pineapple on the street or the papayas, when you drive through the communities, my kids, of course, they love fruit. So they would make us stop and buy all these pineapples and things. And the abundance in Costa Rica is a little bit mind-blowing. Not only is there everything literally on every corner, but when you eat it and taste it, it's not something that we experience in the US because the products have to take some time to get to where we are, right? But to be able to enjoy that in that right from the farmer is just so good. So I can imagine that translates also to these products that are made from these ingredients, immediately from like farm to table to product.
Yes, exactly. For instance, the jams I was talking about, the female entrepreneur that created her company, she created it because friends and family would travel to Costa Rica and would rave about these fruits, like you just did. And they said, "Oh, it would be so amazing to have these fruits at home." So she decided to create Costa Rica in a jar.
Mhm.
and and that's when she started doing this jams and marmalades, so people could actually taste the fruit. And these jams and marmalades are at least 60%, 65% fruit. Some of them are 70, some of them are a bit more. So it's mostly fruit, and you can see the difference when you're spreading it. It's just, you see the fruit and you can taste the fruit.
Mhm.
So that's exactly why she decided to do her jams, so people could taste Costa Rica in a product.
Yeah.
It's just
And
awesome.
and it's so fun to be able to give that kind of stuff too when I travel. Like I'm always looking for something like that that's really unique or just really captures the essence of a destination. And so again, like it seems simple, but it's really powerful, and that might be enough for someone else to be really inspired to travel to Costa Rica, because that it creates this sense memory and this connection for them. And so yeah, I just think it's kind of one of those things that is smaller than we or is larger than we think. Like it appears small, but it really is a lot. When we are talking about the fruit, I know you mentioned to me this woman who creates products from rescued fruit. Can you share a little bit about her journey and this products and what this is about?
Yes, of course. And her story, as all these small entrepreneur stories are, is very interesting and very insightful and inspirational. She used to work at a furniture store, and she hurt her back. And so, but her family depended like pretty much on her salary at the furniture store. So that's why she decided to put her knowledge on coloring, knowledge that she learned from her mother and her grandmother, who used natural tints from nature to color whatever. She decided to use this knowledge to make jewelry. But she had to make jewelry in a way that it would be cost effective, or like at the least costly possible. And that's when she started going to these green markets, where at the end of the day the farmers would basically throw out the fruits that they were not able to sell because they were too ripe, and they weren't sellable. So she would ask them to just basically give it the fruits to her. She froze the fruits and treated it, and that's when she started making jewelry out of banana and pineapple and mango, and using she started using her knowledge of natural coloring on the fruits as well to make this jewelry.
And so what is she dyeing with that? Can you, I'm not sure, like, how does that work? Then she takes the fruits to make the dyes, like the skins and things like that?
She uses plants to make the dyes,
Oh, okay.
basically. Yes. And she treats the fruit.
Mhm.
I'm not sure exactly how she does it, but she treats the fruit so it's preserved, and she um, tints it, she dyes it, and then she puts a lacquer on top so it's sealed.
Oh,
And
okay.
yes, so then, I mean, you can still smell the banana,
Mhm.
which for some people it's surprising. You can smell the banana, but it doesn't attract any insects, or because it's sealed with this lacquer.
Mhm. I think that's another thing that really is always so amazing about local artisan made goods, is that you can see, just like what you were saying, that this innovation and this like combination of tradition and innovation, where artists often use upcycled materials and like I know, for instance, in Ecuador, there's a product that they make a lot with a tagua seed, and places that use, like discarded rubber to make things, and t-shirt, like all these things that maybe seem wasteful become these really beautiful pieces of jewelry. And it comes from that place of, okay, I need to start a business. What are my resources? What is my knowledge? What are my skills? And what can I do? And I think that is also so amazing, as I don't think um, societally we give enough credit to the tremendous entrepreneurial spirit and skill set of women who, like you said, are maybe not educated past an elementary school level to be able to create businesses like this. And I love it. And you see, like as we were talking about before, as they start inspiring other people, and then more innovation occurs, and it just kind of keeps going, and you see these incredible products that you would never expect to see when you're traveling. And so I just think it's such a great way to experience a destination.
Definitely, definitely. Their need turns into creativity, and the creativity turns into a business.
Yeah.
So it's really amazing to see.
Mhm. And so you work with an online store. So this then allows people beyond travelers in Costa Rica to be able to access your products. Can you what was the catalyst for that, or how did you decide that that would be the best way to bring these businesses together and then create a better, more of an impact for these artisans?
Sure. Again, like I said before, I found that there were so many products that would only reach these fairs and markets, and entrepreneurs were left selling only a few items per year, that had so much potential, and the potential to grow was outside of Costa Rica, in the US, in Canada, in Europe, places where people are already buying sustainable products, that buy products that, I guess, go according to their values, and that want to try products with different types of ingredients and locally sourced ingredients. So that's when we said these products have to be exported, and Local Keeps was created as an export company, basically a company that would commercialize all these products and make them available. And so usually when people buy at Local Keeps, they get one of those jams I was telling you about, and a chocolate bar, and they can buy from different suppliers, different makers, different types of food, different types of beauty products, and try it. And chocolate bars are filled with mango, or again, passion fruit, guava, these type of products that are typical of tropical countries like Costa Rica. And the fruit is treated and preserved in a way that is not, it's not the same. Like you said, it's not the same to eat a banana in the US after it was shipped, it was exported, basically frozen, and then injected with some kind of like chemical to make it ripe, get ripened once it gets to you, than to have it here in Costa Rica. So this was the idea behind the whole Local Keeps project, to be able to export these flavors and scents from Costa Rica. And eventually the idea is to grow and to offer products from other Latin American countries, because each Latin American country has their own locally sourced special ingredients.
Mm-hmm. And I know another really fun thing that you did during the pandemic, because obviously we were all impacted by the loss of travel, especially artisans in these rural communities, that even though you have this online platform, there's still a loss of revenue. You worked with company, I also interviewed their owners, Local Purse, Lola and Sarah, and you guys did this really cool venture where you did a local experience that was virtual, so that people who couldn't travel because of the pandemic, but even in moving forward, just maybe don't have the opportunity to go to Costa Rica right now. What was that like? Can you tell us a little bit about what that experience was, and what that offered people that joined?
Definitely, the beauty of our technology.
Mhm.
It's so rewarding when you use it in the right way. And we were able to be with two makers at the same time, two suppliers. So we did this like coffee tour in the mountains of Costa Rica, very far away location, beautiful greenery, as the background, and where they grow specialty coffee. It's a different type of coffee. It's not mixed with rice or other, it's just a pure coffee. Because usually, I mean, more commercial coffees, coffee bags, you get other stuff other than coffee. So specialty coffee, they really take care of the grain and how to process it. And so the tour started at these, with Local Purse, started at these coffee plantation where the owner, again, another female, Latina female entrepreneur, she explained, the essence of growing this specialty coffee. And then we were broadcasting from aromas, these body scrub that I told you about, the coffee vanilla body scrub. That's what their holistic therapist basically talked about, the benefits of coffee on your skin. And she showcased how to use this coffee scrub. So it was really neat to have these two locations, like super far away one from the other, and two different entrepreneurs, two different products being showcased in one platform.
Yeah, I just love that. I feel like, I mean, nothing for me will ever replace travel experience, but to be able to have an experience like that, where even if you were traveling, like you said, you might not see both places because they're so far apart. But to be able to really connect with artisans and hear their stories and get to experience that product kind of firsthand in a way, and then like really know the story and be able to connect with it. I think it's just such a great experience. And for people that are interested in that, you can listen to Lola and Sarah. They were episode 37, I think, last season, but their story is really great, working with businesses like Local Keeps to just highlight what artisans are doing and create these interactive experiences that really highlight this work. So I just think it's great to see. And like you said, technology, what that has allowed over this last year to create. I mean, for instance, they're in Europe, so you're working with them and they're connecting to you in Costa Rica, who's then connecting to people in other locations in Costa Rica. And it's kind of amazing. Like, definitely 2 years ago, we wouldn't have imagined being able to be a part of a network and an experience like this.
Definitely. And that's something that I've been able to experience also as an entrepreneur, as a learning entrepreneur. I was able to participate in this Incubator / Accelerator program in Mexico. Mm-hmm. That used to be face-to-face only. You would apply to these programs, and it happens with accelerator programs for entrepreneurs in the US, Canada, all over the world, that they used to require you to go, and drop everything you're doing for 4 months and go live there to do these programs. And now you can do it online. And I was able to meet so many other entrepreneurs. And now I'm actually mentoring two companies, small entrepreneurs in Mexico, one that produces belts made out of cactus, and the other one that produces they're artisans that make soap dishes and made with stone, one type of stone. And I'm able to mentor them as companies online through these camps. So it's really, it's a rich experience, definitely.
Yeah, I just that this kind of acceptance of technology, not that we didn't use technology before, but as this tool for connection, I think is really going to change so many things moving forward. And the accessibility that we have to one another, I think is great, because before, like you said, that those entrepreneurs would only have access to the people in their community. So they might not have found this outside support. And so their business could only achieve one level of success. And now you have someone like you that can actually be actively seeking these businesses with this intent to support them, help them grow their business. And so then your impact can expand, which then even gives them the resources to expand, what their network might look like. And I just think it's been really amazing. And as I've interviewed women for this series, and then, they see each other through the promotions or listen to an interview when they're preparing for their conversation, then they meet somebody in a part of the world that perhaps they just wouldn't have considered connecting with. And then that connection like opens doors for other things. And so I just get really excited about thinking about that. And I think also women are really open to giving that kind of support. Like you said earlier, this idea, it's not just women at this level of artisan entrepreneurship. It's women like you and I that now, will hear of someone and say, oh, I know who you need to connect with.
Yes.
And then that becomes the next, it just keeps going. So it's been so amazing.
And it's a paid forward type of, thing happening, because you get connected and you want to connect other people, and it's just something that sharing is much more sharing knowledge, sharing connections. It's available right away and available to everyone. So yes, I definitely agree. It's exciting.
Yeah. I just can't wait to see where that goes in the future. Well, before we wrap up, I just wanted to make sure if there was any other things that you wanted to share about local keeps so that we don't miss anything. And then beyond that, can you let us know how people can find you and how they can learn about these products and purchase these products?
Sure. I think I pretty much covered everything about local keeps. Thank you for asking so many great questions, Christine. And basically, they can find us either at our website, www.localkeeps.com. We have an Instagram account, local.keeps. We have a Facebook account. And you can also find me, Galit Flasterstein, at LinkedIn and connect. I would be happy to connect again, using this Christine's platform to connect with more people. And if you want to buy at Local Keeps, it's pretty easy. We use DHL to ship. So if your product is available, we ship it within 2 to 3 business days. Shipping is not too expensive. It's actually a great price, and you get to experience products that are locally sourced, sustainably sourced, and are definitely impacting other people.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's so many good things about that. So I really encourage people. And I just was sitting here thinking, I'm like, oh, people are actually probably holiday shopping and things like that right now too. So like, what a great opportunity to just have this seed planted, that maybe that would be a great way to extend that benefit right now when people are thinking about that. I usually end our conversations with a series of rapid fire questions. So if you're open to playing along there, I amended it. They're my rapid fire-ish questions. So it's just kind of the first thing that comes to your mind, and it's a fun way for people to just kind of connect outside of hearing about your business and your travel experience.
I'll try my best.
You'll do great. What is your favorite book or movie that offers you a travel escape or inspires you to adventure?
It's I don't know if you ever read The Red Tent. It's a very
Yes.
old book.
Mm.
I love it. It makes you dream of faraway places, the desert, and also it makes you think of women and how they could be empowered even in, very, very, ancient times.
Yeah, oh,
Definitely.
that's such a beautiful book. So I hope anybody listening that hasn't read it, that will be something that they would enjoy, I'm sure. What is always in your suitcase when you travel?
My computer.
Yeah,
Well, not
sadly.
well, actually my backpack. And definitely my beauty products. I don't travel without my body oil and my facial serum. It's a must, especially for the dryness of when you go through the airplane and
Mm.
places that might have a different type of environment, different type of weather.
Mhm.
Definitely, and a
Yeah,
must.
my kids always laugh because I get on the airplane and I put on chapstick and lotion. I'm like, oh, you just immediately start drying out. So, what has been your favorite destination?
Chile, love that. Love the country. It's so long and it showcases so many different type of um, you know landscapes. It has icebergs, it has the desert, it has rocky desert, the dunes. It's just amazing to travel throughout Chile.
Yeah. Where do you still long to visit?
I want to visit Australia and New Zealand. That's definitely on my book. And Africa, that's a place I've never been to.
Mhm.
There's so many places.
Yeah, I know it's kind of unfair. I usually say there's not very many places if people offered me the opportunity to go there that I wouldn't just be saying yes. So, let's see. What do you eat that immediately connects you to a place that you've been?
Chocolate. I try chocolate everywhere I go. If it's produced locally, obviously. There's something about cacao that I love it. I eat it every single day. And it gives you a taste, it could be a bit acidy, it could be, it just has subtleties, subtle differences in taste that connects you to a place.
Yeah.
So if available, chocolate. Local
Yeah.
chocolate.
And I would say for like consumers of chocolate in the US, it's expanded a little bit, in the last few years about the types of artisanal chocolates you can get. But I offer a chocolate tasting on my Peru sojourn, and we went to this place that helps local artisans craft their own chocolate instead of just selling their cacao for someone else to create the chocolate with. And I was like, what could a chocolate, like, I love chocolate. What could a chocolate tasting offer me? Like, chocolate or chocolate? And she was like, you'll notice the subtle notes of, honey and grass, and you'll notice the subtle notes of this. And she's like, this one actually tastes more like chocolate. And I'm like, this has got to be crazy. And you taste it, and it was amazing. And you can really like get the sense of like the earth around it and the environment through the chocolate. So
It's like tasting wine. It's like
Yeah.
tasting wine. It's the same thing.
Yeah. So I love that you mentioned that because it's a really rich experience that I don't think people often think about. And so I would encourage people to try that if they have the opportunity, and to try some of your chocolates so that they can taste the fruits and the chocolates. Let's see, who was the person that inspired or encouraged you to explore the world?
Ooh, I can't really think of a specific person, but I definitely love traveling with my husband
Yes.
because we get very excited about, again, the same things: places, people, culture, food. So it's so fun to have a partner that enjoys the same type of experiences that you do, and that perhaps, learns different or draws different, learnings from places than you do. And so to be able to talk about that and see, places in a different perspective, it's enriching.
Yeah, I love that. Some of my favorite childhood memories are like actually witnessing someone else experience something, and you maybe didn't even notice that because we all kind of have our own contexts and our lens through which we experience things, and then someone else will share about something they experienced that day or even in that moment, and you're like, wow, I don't know why I didn't notice that, but it really enriches your travel experience. The last one, which I don't know if it'll be the same answer or not, but if you could take an adventure with one person, fictional or real, alive or past, who would it be?
Ooh. Does it have to be travel? Yes, I guess.
No, I guess an adventure can be. It doesn't. You don't have to go very far for an adventure.
um, well, no, again, yes, with my husband, we make sure, COVID last year was not enabling that, but we make sure to include an exciting place to visit, hopefully every single year. So we prefer to invest in that because we see it as an investment to
Mhm.
travel to a faraway, different place than to visit the same places over and over again. And to us, and to me, that's kind of key to visit a place that offers contrast and is going to show me something completely different from what I'm used to. Although I love traveling within Costa Rica and we do it quite often, the world is so huge and so special that it's just why not explore it all?
Yeah, I thank you so much for sharing that. I mean, that is really why I think travel is so valuable, is that contrast that you mentioned, and it really allows for us to grow and to just experience something new. And I think that it's the power and the magic of travel is that experience. Um, well, I am so grateful for this conversation. I am so grateful for the ways that we were connected in the first place, which was the beginning of some of that magic connection and women seeing other women that need to know one another. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate what you shared, and I hope that people have loved learning about local keeps today.
Thank you so much, Christine. Thank you.
Thank you.